Hi y'all, I just wanted to do a really quick haul video and give you some quick tips, things that might help you with your die cutting, some cheaper things to use instead of shims or whatnot. First off, to let you know, I just bought this a couple days ago. It is April 13th today, I believe. And it's a Fiskars guillotine cutter. It was $11.99 at Tuesday Morning, and they still had some. So if you're looking for one, I just love this Fiskars one. I did get the We Are Memory Keepers one as well, depending on your needs. The We Are Memory Keepers guillotine is a little wider. So the Fiskars goes to 5 inches, and the We Are Memory Keepers goes to 6.5, or sorry, 6. So usually you're getting this sort of thing so that you can get a very precise 90-degree cut. And if you're using it for cards, I would probably say go ahead and get the We Are Memory Keepers. I think it was $14.99. And they still had some of those. They actually have a whole bunch of the We Are Memory Keepers tools and the boards, the envelope board and all those different things at Tuesday Morning right now. They even have the new stamper platform that the whole top piece comes off. I didn't need it, so I didn't pick up that one, but they have both of these right now at Tuesday Morning if you've been looking, or if you've been trying to figure out a way to get a more precise edge on your cards so it looks more professional. Also, I kept fighting with shims and trying to get just the right sandwich, blah blah blah. So I just started making some out of super cheap generic cutting boards. This was, just a big cutting board. I just cut it down. And this is just an old school file folder, the one that has the pockets. And it's plastic, and it works great. It works great as a shim. This is the Gemini plate. That's just an old, another old notebook or something that I cut up to use as a shim. Another one of those. Okay, so these are the Gemini cutting plates, and these are the Spellbinders cutting plates. Just to let you see the difference in size, they are pretty darn close. And the reason I ordered these Spellbinders plates, because they do go on a great sale every now and then. I got the whole set minus this plate. I got this one, this one, this one. I thought there was one more plate. But the whole set was $30, and that was not on sale. But they had the smaller sets for like the Cuttlebug for $8. It was really cheap, but you get your embossing mat and all the plates that you need to emboss and cut. And I buy whatever size plates are on sale because I have the Fiskars machine, and I love it. It's a 12-inch cutting space, so you can really fit pretty much anything through it. Then here's the Sizzix magnetic platform, and here is the Cuttlebug magnetic platform, just to give you some ideas of exactly what sizes you're looking at. Sorry, I did this on a really quick whim. I know when I'm sitting at home and I'm really excited for dies to come in, or I'm waiting for a die to come in, and I'm wanting to see what other people have shopped for and gotten. It's exciting to just look at the dies or kind of know a little more about what dies you might be interested in getting. So that's why I decided to just go ahead and do this and get it out there for anybody that's excited and just wants to look at some more dies they may not own yet. I buy probably 95% of my dies from AliExpress now. That's A-L-I Express. And what they are is basically an eBay for overseas. It's an eBay for Chinese stores, Asian stores, Indian stores, just small business owners that are trying to make a living selling dies or whatnot. They have everything you could imagine over there. They even have, I don't know if you've seen the little advertisement for the solar pack. I actually have it plugged in right now. But it's, I'll just show it to you right quick. It's this solar pack. It's awesome. I love it. And I paid $10 for this one. But if you get one with the name brand on it, they're going to charge you a chunk. But this one, I mean, just against the window, you can see it's charging. And I'm inside just next to a window, and it's even cloudy outside, and it's still charging. But I love it. It's actually what I'm using to keep my camera going right now. I have it plugged into the... But I don't know what they're asking for the name brand ones, but my guess is $10 is probably a much better price. And the reason I'm not telling you what the prices on these dies are is because they change, and I got a lot of them on sale. But the way AliExpress works is when you go onto their website... Sorry, let me just show you right quick. So you go onto the AliExpress website, and let's say you're looking for a purse die. Purse die. So then it'll say purse die and cutting dies. Purse die and cutting dies. And you're going to say search. And then it's going to bring up all the purse dies. But what you want to do is up here where it says best match, you want to click on that, and you want to select, sorry, I was doing it backwards. Let me see what I did. Yeah, best match, and you're going to get a little drop down menu, and you're going to press prices low to high. And what that's going to do is bring the lowest prices first. So it's going to go the cheapest price you can get it all the way down to the most expensive price you can pay. So that's really important when you're looking for anything on AliExpress or eBay. Make sure you select lowest price plus shipping, because that's going to get you the best price. You can also filter on the other side, and you can select free shipping. If you don't want to pay shipping, then all of the places that have free shipping are going to be on there. So it just depends on what you're looking for, and if you want the cheapest price. If you want the cheapest price, you're going to put in lowest price and search it that way. That way, I mean, you could have two dies right next to each other, and one is going to be $19.75 and one is going to be $1.99, and it can be the exact same die. And because all of the die makers here, Spellbinders, Anna Griffin, whoever, they are having their dies made in China. So because the patent pending laws are different over there, unless they pay to have the dies patented over there, you're getting the same dies most of the time. They're not all quality, and some of them are defective. So it's really important that you check the measurements. Speaking of, here's a perfect example. Here's an Elizabeth Craft die. It is a card holder, obviously. It's a little stand for your cards. Here's the size, and here's one that they used this picture, and this is the die I received. So because they used stock photo, all I have to do is go back to eBay, show them a picture that they used the stock photo, and show that it's deceptive. It's deceptive advertising, especially because they wanted like $3.20, which is really high for something like this from China. So all you have to do is put in a complaint, you know, and say, hey, this is what's going on. I want my refund. And they will refund it. And if the person wants their die back, they have to pay for the shipping to have it returned. It's not on you to pay the return shipping. It's on them because they're the ones that messed up. Same with AliExpress. Here's a perfect example. Sorry, first let me give you the little measurements on this right quick. Sorry, I don't know if my head's in the way. This is 8 and, what is it? Let me see, 1, 2, 3, 3/8. 8 and 8/8 is what it looks like. 3 marks past the 8.5. That's the Gemini plate. And sorry, that one won't even measure how long it is. It is 12.5 long. So over 8.5 inches wide and 12.5 inches long. And that is the Gemini plates. And they work great through the Fiskars machine as well. And then here are the Spellbinders plates. And I'll just go ahead and use this. Oh, they're not quite 12. I thought they were. Oh yeah, so they're just 1/8 of an inch past 12 inches long, and 8, just under, well actually almost 8.5 inches wide, which I thought it said they were 8.5 inches wide, but I guess not. The reason that's important is because there are a couple of dies on AliExpress that are too large for the Cuttlebug, this envelope die being one of them, but it will just fit on the Spellbinders die, the Spellbinders plates. So if you want to get a die that's larger, this envelope will fit a card 4 1/4 by 6 1/4, and the envelope is actually 7/16 of an inch deep. Sorry, let me get the one that I blew. So it's a little box envelope. So cute! And then your little card would fit right in it. Close it up. And then it also came with all of these cute dies. And it's just an envelope die. That's all you'd have to look up. But you can cut that piece out to put on top, or put this piece in the, you know, just whatever you want to do. They can either cut into, this one cuts a separate piece. This one cuts into the paper. So if you wanted to have it actually in the envelope, or if you wanted to, I guess you couldn't put it on the end, but you could put it on the card if you wanted to inside. Just a really cute die. This die, I believe, was around $12, so it was a little higher end. And if you have the envelope maker by We Are Memory Keepers, you don't need it. But if you're like me, they're just so fun to have. And I like to make cards. So there was that one that was oversized, and then this one. It's so pretty. I just love this die. I think it reminds me of like a lady's handkerchief. For any of you old enough to remember that, a little lady's handkerchief. But the dies are quite large. At the edge, over 7.5 wide. 7 5/8 inches wide on the largest one, and it is a square. So if you don't stack them, then the centers won't cut out. So you can either cut them like a solid piece, which would be just be so cute if you wanted to add it to a little box card to put a little note in the back, you know, something like that, or a little doll card, like instead of putting the lace, you could cut it out and put just one of these little pieces behind it because it looks so much like a handkerchief. I also got these little flowers on AliExpress, and I bought a bunch of them. Most of them came in. There was just one company that I didn't get the flowers in on. And they're just really cute. They're perfect for cards. So if you have a Gemini or a bigger machine, I would highly recommend you get this die if you like it at all, because it cuts beautifully and it cut cleanly, and it's just such a pretty die. I actually have this one in a glad bag because it was so big, but for most of my dies, and especially when I get an order in from AliExpress, I keep each order with itself until I have all of the dies accounted for, because a lot of times what they will do is they'll have this big sale and they'll have all these dies. This is like $4 and that's $3 and that's $4 or whatever. What they do is they leave out this die and this die and this die. So you're actually not saving money if you're not paying attention to what you've ordered. You won't realize that you never got your entire order. So make sure you keep track of that. And when you are in your AliExpress account, and you can use Ebates with AliExpress, it adds up. If you shop very much, even eBay takes Ebates. So you just click on your Ebates app, go through, sign into your account, and it'll apply your little discount, so the pennies add up. So on your order, you're going to click on orders, and it's going to bring up everything that you ordered. It doesn't take anything off until you remove it, as far as I know. None of mine have dropped off yet. But then when you get the order in and you're satisfied with it, don't click this until you're satisfied with your purchase. It says confirm goods received. And then, just to show you, when you go in here, let me find one that I've already received. Okay, so I received these lanterns, and I already confirmed that I received them. So it's asking me if I want to leave additional feedback. So you click on the feedback, and you can add photos and your comments and give it a rating so that it will help other people that are looking for the dies. So what I like to do is put the dies on my little mat so that people can see how large they are. And let me see if I can find my review right quick. I just added it yesterday, so no. It's a really cute die, these little lanterns. I love them. So here's my little review so you can see how big the dies are. And I go by inches because most people go by centimeters. And, you know, they go by centimeters over there, the metric system. So that someone else that's an American that doesn't use the metric system, they can tell how big it is by my putting it on the dollar, just to help someone else that's looking. And then I try to let them know how well the die cut. But those lanterns are super cute. They're just Chinese lanterns. You can pull them up and check. One other thing that I do is I bought a super cheap sewing tape, and actually just 2 of them. And I put them along the edge of my desk. So I've got one that's metrics and one that's centimeters and one that's inches, and I lined them up perfectly. So when I'm shopping for a die and I'm not sure how big it is, I can put it on the edge of my little ruler over there, and I'll say, okay, if it's if the ad is saying it is 6 centimeters, how big is that in inches? And I'll just look up 6 centimeters and look right below it, and I'll say, oh, okay, that's how many inches it is. That just helps me know how big the die is, because a lot of times you think you're getting a nice sized die, like going back to this one, you think you're getting this die, but you're actually getting this die. And I should have checked the measurements, but I didn't because they used this picture, and I was familiar with the die. I already owned it. So make sure that you're checking the measurements on every die you buy. And my advice is don't add it to your cart until you're sure you know the measurements. Because you might end up with a really tiny die and just be out of luck because they do put the measurements for each one. This is a perfect example of, sorry, let me get these out of the way, of a blatant issue with manufacturing. Here's the purse die. Nice size, super cute, but guess what? It cuts the piece of the purse out that should not have been cut out. This piece should not have a cutting edge around it. So all I did was take a picture of it, explain to them that this die is defective, and they reimbursed me with no questions. And there's just really nothing you can do about it. You can't glue this in there unless you want to put a backing on it. And it doesn't come with the piece to fill in the back, so the die doesn't work. And I kept it just so I could kind of show you. But you could also, you know, maybe use it flat or something. You could use a little bow die or whatever. And then there's this little box. I think I paid $3.99 for this. And it is a really cute little box, but it is very detailed. And I could not, with my Fiskars, get the little pieces to cut out. I had to use the Gemini. It just missed a lot of spots, but it is a cute little box. The finished box is 3.5 by 3.5, so it's really cute. You could put some little chocolates in there, little kisses or whatever. Maybe even a mini cupcake would be really cute in it. That's that one. And I also, let me show you these little clips. I bought these packs. I want to say I bought them at Michael's. And I think they're the Recollections. I used to buy the Tim Holtz ones, but he stopped making them, or they're just not selling them in store. So what I do with the cellophane is I just clip one of these little hooks so that I can hook it on my pegboard, because I put all my dies on a pegboard, and I'm sure to just clip part of the die when I hang it, and then I just hang them all up on my clipboard, or my pegboard. And pegboards are cheap. You can pick them up at Lowe's or whatever's close to your house, Home Depot, and buy the longer pegs. If you have very many dies, you'll want to get the longer pegs. Here are the pegs I prefer, and they're a good length. You can 4 inches, and I recommend getting these, not these, because the pieces always break off. They're held on with this little tiny tab that already broke off, and yeah, they're really long, but no help at all if they break. These are much sturdier, and you can hang quite a few dies in that little 4-inch space. So that's what I do with mine, is hang them on a pegboard. And you don't have to mount the pegboard. If you're renting, you can just lean it against the wall, and you can add pegboards to it. It just depends on how you want to do it. I also wanted to share this little die. I was like, oh, that's so cute, but it's actually so tiny, which is still okay, but I think they charged me $3 for the die, and that's just misleading, because a die this tiny should not be $3. I mean, look at how little